Welcome to Profound Conversations.
Welcome to Profound Conversations, a podcast where we engage in today's most dynamic conversations with some of the most dynamic individuals in the community. These are change agents confronting complex issues within our 21st century reality. I am the host, Watakari Sankara, also known as Kevin Washington. In today's episode, we will explore something that is powerful, the aspect of vision and human transformation. We're here today with Fatimah Linda Howard, the author of From Vision to Divine Provision. This book, this powerful compendium, looks at ways of moving us from one space, one realm of existence to another by understanding the laws of attraction, understanding the power of the divine, understanding that it is not unspiritual to ask for more from the Creator, from Allah. It is actually a show of faith, a demonstration of Allah's abundance. This conversation challenges us to either move from one space of complacency to elevation, or allows us to be able to recognize that we have not moved as far as we could because we have not asked the right questions or engaged in the right processes. We are here. She's here to uncover for us, unpack this idea of moving from vision to divine provisions. Welcome, Fatimah Linda Howard, to Profound Conversations.
Thank you. It's wonderful being here. I'm really excited about this particular podcast because this is the first podcast that I'm doing since I released the book, and Profound Conversations is very near and dear to me. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm excited that we have this exclusive then with you, with this to be the first.
The first.
Have put this book in space. What is it like to give to finally deliver a book? I know that you've written several books, but this one seems to be special. What is it like to deliver a book like this one?
Well, I really feel as if this book was really divinely guided. And it was interesting how the book came about because I was actually in the process of writing another book. I was on, and I stopped midstream and shifted to this book. So getting the book released felt very divine to me. I felt like it itself was a result of that vision to divine provision.
So, I mean, this is the only book that exists that I know of that talks about this idea of visioning and manifestation and law of attraction from an Islamic perspective, right? That to look at the Quran, and I know that you're Sunnah based and you approach it around this idea of manifestation. I don't see this written. I see it in other populations. I've read it from different forms, from the Kemetic form. I've read other forms, but this one is distinct, and I was really very moved by it. What inspired you? You were talking about you were doing one thing and you were led in a different direction. What really inspired you to say, I must write this book on provision from the perspective of division of vision and the art, the Islamic art of sacred manifestation?
I'm gonna try to shorten the story because it is a little bit of a long story. But the way the book came about was I made a decision that I wanted to buy a new house, and I had a clear vision about what this house would be. It wasn't about what the house looked like. It wasn't about what was in the house. I started by thinking about what did I want to feel? What did I want to experience? And that then moved into how I made my du'as for the house. And a part of making my du'as was that I wanted it to be a house where I would build community, where there would be activities for Muslim women in particular, where there would be activities for family. And so one of the things that I said was that I wanted to have this space for sisters to gather. So shortly after I purchased the house, I held my first event. Now I'm in a new neighborhood, new town. I don't know anybody. I put the call out. The first the first event is a monthly event called Sisters Steadfast Saturdays. The first event, 9 sisters showed up,
Mm.
most of whom I was meeting for the first time. The second event, 17 sisters
Wow.
showed up. So I pulled out my vision board, like this was I call it the after party. After a lot of people left, we had a few sisters hanging around. And I pulled out my vision board and people started asking questions. The next month, someone said, "Could you bring out that vision board?" And the house on my vision board looked very much like the house that they were in. So
Mm.
they're saying, how did you basically, what's in your duas? And I started getting all these questions. And so it challenged me to really start to think about what is the framework from the vision to actually receiving the provision. And I said, okay, well, we'll do some work over the next few months, and then we'll do some vision boards. So as I was doing that and putting together the materials for the sisters, it started flowing and it manifested into a book. And so it was me having this vision of how I wanted to experience my home, following through on that, and that experience delivered this book.
Mm. So a dua is a what a
Um,
supplication.
yes, supplication, a prayer. And so I talk about this in my book that first you have the vision. You want to look at the intentions behind the vision, and then you want to move this vision to a prayer where you're having a conversation. Duas is your conversation with Allah, and so move that to having that conversation. And that's what the sisters were asking me. What specifically is in your duas? Because they wanted to know, how did you get from dua to us being here in this house? So that was a part of the experience of just taking that
Mic check one
time.
two. How'd you get from dua to manifestation?
Okay. Did you hear my answer, or should I start again?
No, no, but your answer was profound and prophetic because it's a profound
Okay.
conversation. Hmm. What where I really was with that was because that's powerful. Where I was with this was this idea of you went from having an idea to have a meeting. You put it out there about Sister Steadfast, and the people showed up. And then the next week it grew. Women have a tendency to do this, right? So that's a whole nother piece that's not necessarily surprising. However, I think that it is surprising in the sense that you didn't know anyone and no one really knew you, but they felt compelled to attach to something that you had said. So that speaks volumes to what you're saying about a dua, about the idea of reach that moves beyond simply a religious practice. It is bigger than that, and this is what I'm getting from what you're saying about it is bigger than Islam. It's bigger than Christianity. It's bigger than Daoism. It's bigger than that because Allah is bigger than all of those things, right? But that man makes. However, when you do it in a concentrated effort like this, it brings about something, and that's also what I'm gaining from your book when you begin to give it some focus. And so you have seven sacred stages that one is to engage in, right? You have visualize, you have ask, you have believe. Okay, kind of talk about those. Is that a part of what happened with this idea, the vision board process with the population that you have?
Absolutely. So the vision board is just one aspect in terms of how, being able to put that vision down on, represented in some artistic form. But Yes, it is a part of the process of going through that vision and having that intention and understanding the things that you're desiring. Why are you desiring? Are these things that would make Allah happy? Are these things that will be good for you in this
Mm,
life? And will they be good for
mm,
you in the next life?
mm.
And when you get clear on that, it becomes really a lot easier for you to then have that conversation with Allah about what you want and why you want it.
Thank you for joining our profound conversation. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to our podcast and then gift this information to a friend or family member using the share button.